stunned disbelief. My parents summoned me, their faces heavy with unspoken words, to reveal a shocking truth. Their will grants everything to my siblings, leaving me in the shadows. For 36 years I existed in a world where the notion of a family dinner was just a mundane ritual, until that fateful evening when it unraveled the very fabric of my beliefs. The flickering candles danced on the dining table, casting shadows that whispered secrets, while the vintage chandelier bathed the room in a warm embrace. The rich aroma of stew enveloped the air, stirring memories and igniting the soul. Every element was a masterfully crafted snare. And I stepped boldly into the unknown, completely unaware of the storm that awaited me. 2 weeks ago my mother called, her voice dripping with an unusual sweetness that stirred something deep within me. Elena returned home for dinner. It has been far too long since our family has united around the table. I stood at the crossroads, uncertainty gripping my heart. For more than 10 years I had learned to navigate the complexities of my parents' love, always tinged with conditions. They came knocking only when their needs arose. Yet, a flicker of hope remained within me, whispering that perhaps, just perhaps, this time could unfold in a way I had never imagined. That they genuinely felt my absence. As I drove from San Francisco to my childhood home in Sacramento, I felt the weight of my packed schedule and intense meetings fade away, replaced by a rush of nostalgia and purpose. Hope surged within me as I took my seat, but mere moments later it crumbled into despair. Like a delicate wine glass tumbling from a grasp, shattering into 1,000 pieces upon the unforgiving floor. In a moment charged with significance, Mom and Dad feel it's crucial for you to understand this now, to prevent any shadows of misunderstanding from creeping in later. Liam, my younger brother, delivered his words with a fluidity that suggested he had practiced them countless times before. He reclined in his chair, arms crossed defiantly, a smirk playing at the corners of his lips, betraying the triumph he struggled to hide. Beside him, Camila, my younger sister, twirled a golden strand of hair around her finger, a triumphant smirk dancing on her lips, as if she had just claimed a monumental victory. I placed my fork down, the stew my mother had lovingly crafted suddenly feeling like a weight too heavy to bear. "What is happening?" I inquired, my voice trembling with intensity. Yet, I summoned every ounce of strength to maintain my composure. My mother, the one who had beckoned me home with the allure of a cozy evening, let out a gentle sigh. "Your father and I have made the important decision to finalize our will. This house, the lakefront villa in Tahoe, all that we cherish, will be entrusted to Liam and Camila." Her words pierced the silence, a blade that cut deep into my heart. I faced my father, my heart racing, yearning for him to deny the truth, to declare it all a wicked jest. Yet he bowed his head, fixated on the depths of his glass of wine, his silence a powerful testament to his unyielding resolve. I inhaled deeply, searching for a glimmer of reason amidst the chaos that surrounded me. And then in that pivotal moment, everything changed. Why must we question the very essence of our existence? Liam shrugged, a smirk dancing on his lips, his voice dripping with playful irony. "Do you really need it, though? Do you possess your own company, your own home, a life of stability? Mom and Dad believe that Camila and I are the ones who truly need the support. Assistance?" I scoffed, my laughter echoing with emptiness. "What do you truly mean by support, Camila? At 28, you've faced the relentless cycle of fleeting jobs, each one slipping through your fingers in less than 6 months. Liam, how many times have you bravely reinvented your path in college? 5, 6? Every single tuition fee has been covered by Mom and Dad, a testament to their unwavering support and sacrifice." As I spoke, my breath quickened and my heart thundered with a fierce intensity. My mother stood with her arms crossed, her eyes piercing and unyielding. "Elena, you don't have to let your emotions take control. Your father and I have contemplated this deeply. These assets hold no power over you. Yet, Liam and Camila yearn for a strong foundation upon which to construct their future." I laughed, yet the sound held no trace of joy. "A cornerstone of hope? What about the sacrifices I made? The money I poured into paying off your mortgage, the countless times I stepped in to cover utility bills and home repairs? What will become of the $40,000 I poured into renovating the Tahoe villa? Is there truly no one who recalls that moment?" Camila let out a laugh, her eyes sparkling with a fierce sense of defiance. "Ah, so you're meticulously tracking every single cent? That's truly disheartening, Elena. With all your wealth, why cling so tightly to your riches?" My gaze locked onto her, disbelief coursing through me at her sheer audacity. "Frugal?" I highlighted every single word. "Camila, what you're doing is nothing short of deception. It's a stark act of taking advantage." My mother struck the table with such force that the glasses trembled on the edge, teetering on the brink of chaos. Enough, Elena. It's time to rise above the victim mentality. Your focus on money is holding you back, always. We made this choice not out of a lack of love for you, but from a deep love for all our children. Passion. A chilling fury surged within me, igniting a fire in my heart. Liam reclined, masking his true feelings with a facade of sympathy. You're behaving like someone who has just lost their most cherished possession, grappling with the sting of loss and the yearning for what once brought joy. Each person present stands as an adult, Elena. Embrace the truth of your circumstances. Silence enveloped me. His words no longer sparked anger within me, instead, they illuminated a profound truth. For as long as I could remember, I had lived in a web of deception. They had always looked past me, never recognizing my place within the family. I was never truly their daughter. I was the one who held their financial future in my hands. With a deliberate motion, I set my hands upon the table, clutching the edge of the tablecloth tightly. I inhaled deeply, allowing the fury to calm within me. As I lifted my eyes once more, a chilling resolve enveloped me. In that moment, clarity washed over me. They were indifferent to my presence, just as I was to theirs. For 10 long years, I clung to the belief that family was my sanctuary, a haven from the storms of life. Regardless of the circumstances, they would hold me dear, just as I held them close to my heart. Yet the reality? I was never truly their daughter. I was a vessel of endless transactions, a machine of giving, yet feeling so empty inside. And now, as my purpose faded, they stood poised to cast me aside, their indifference cutting deep. I gazed into the eyes of those before me, each one a story waiting to be told. My mother, the one who reached out every time a bill loomed over us. My father, a silent witness to my mother's every choice, stood resolute, even as her unfairness cast shadows over my heart. Liam, the relentless force who consumed my resources, leaving behind a trail of unfinished courses and unfulfilled promises. Camila, a woman untouched by the grind of a serious job, yet her life was a tapestry woven with enough designer clothes to fill 3 rooms, each piece a testament to her untamed spirit. I laughed, yet it was not from joy. My voice was laced with a deep-seated bitterness. What of the sacrifices I made for all of you? Is there truly no one who believes this deserves recognition? My mother stood with her arms crossed, her gaze piercing like a blade. Elena, your words are consumed by the relentless pursuit of wealth. Is there ever a sum that can truly satisfy you? A parched sensation gripped my throat. Is it ever truly sufficient? I echoed softly, my voice barely a breath. For 6 long years I have poured my heart and soul into the mortgage of this house. I was the sole force that rose to the challenge, embracing the weight of the loan when you stood at the brink of bankruptcy. I invested in the renovations of the Tahoe Villa, driven by your promise to preserve it as a cherished family legacy. Now I find myself standing on the outskirts, no longer recognized as a member of this family. Camila shrugged, her eyebrow arching in a defiant display of mock indifference. Did anyone truly compel you, Elena? You revel in the role of the hero, don't you? That sentence struck me like a thunderclap, leaving me reeling. No one held me against my will, I made my own choices. I locked eyes with her, those green depths revealing no hint of regret, only a sharp edge of mockery. I took that step, believing that family was meant to uplift one another. Yet, I was mistaken. I stood alone, bearing the weight of sacrifices, while the rest of you merely took without a thought. Liam let out a derisive laugh. You're behaving like a heartbroken child, mourning the loss of their most cherished treasure. The fury surged within me, a tempest ready to erupt. A mere toy? I articulated every word, the warmth flooding my cheeks. For the past decade, I have poured nearly $500,000 into uplifting this family. I set my dreams aside, letting opportunities slip away, traveling the world, acquiring a larger home, investing in the future I envisioned for myself. All of this was done to ensure you would never have to face hardship. And now you label me greedy merely for seeking a touch of fairness? My mother shook her head, a heavy sigh escaping her lips as if I were a lost soul, unable to grasp the truth of the world around me. Family embodies love, Elena, not wealth. I released a laugh that echoed with emptiness. What is love? As I surveyed the room, a wave of emotion surged within me. The house that had consumed my heart, my resources, my very essence. If that were true, then why does love only shine brightly when it flows from my heart? Why must I always bear the weight of sacrifice? Silence echoed in the void, a haunting reminder of absence. That question lingered in the air unanswered, a haunting echo of uncertainty. A chilling stillness enveloped the room, their eyes spoke volumes of unspoken truths. They were unburdened by remorse. They believed they had not taken advantage of me, their frustration stemmed from my audacity to seek justice. A searing ache gripped my heart. Why did I ever believe they could transform? With a surge of determination, I inhaled deeply and rose to my feet. The chair scraped against the hardwood floor, its screech piercing the heavy silence, a harbinger of the storm brewing within. I've heard enough, I declared with a chilling finality. I have reached my limit. My mother blinked, a fleeting moment that held the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. What did you just say? As our eyes locked, I spoke with intention, each word heavy with meaning. I have reached my limit. I am free from the chains that bound me to you. Liam's laughter echoed, yet beneath it lay a current of unease that sent shivers through the air. What is happening? Are you really going to sever ties with the family so easily? I fixed my gaze upon him, unwavering. Indeed. Prepare yourself, for the truth will soon reveal itself in all its profound depth. I pivoted sharply, refusing to linger for their response. My mother's voice pierced the air, filled with urgency and fear. Elena, what on earth are you doing? Family is meant to stand united through every storm and struggle. We cannot be severed so easily over a mere difference of opinion. I halted, a sly grin spreading across my face. Yet this time it was chillingly cold. A fleeting clash of wills? I echoed my words, then pivoted, my gaze unwavering and fierce. This is not just a minor conflict. This is a profound act of deep disappointment. I strode purposefully toward the door, but just as I was about to step through, my mother's voice pierced the air, laced with fury and caution. Once you step through that door, remember there's no turning back. I pressed on, unwavering in my resolve. I stood firm, resolute in my decision. The answers I sought were already within me. As I drove back to San Francisco, a weight bore down on my chest, tightening like a boulder, a reminder of the struggles I carried within. My mind whirled with the sharp sting of bitter words exchanged at dinner, the scornful glares from Camila, Liam's infuriatingly smug smirk, and the heavy, oppressive silence that enveloped my parents. The buildings raced by my car window, streetlights morphing into ghostly trails of light along the boulevard, each one a fleeting reminder of the journey ahead. Once that house was my family, but now? Everything has changed. It was a void, a relentless black hole consuming every drop of my effort and love, leaving nothing but echoes of what once was. Upon returning to my apartment, I flung my bag onto the couch, poured a glass of wine, and let myself melt into the embrace of the sofa. A heavy sigh escaped my lips, carrying the weight of unspoken emotions. All the fire within me had faded, leaving only a hollow echo of what once was. All that lingered was the weight of exhaustion and the shadow of weariness. In that moment, I unlocked my banking app, a portal to my financial fate. $2,100 each month. That was the price I had been bearing all these years. $1,500 for the mortgage, a weight that presses down yet fuels the fire within. $600 for utilities. Power surges through the air. Liquid life, a force that shapes destinies. The vast expanse of the digital realm. Care and upkeep. Amidst the whirlwind of financial burdens, there lay the weight of Liam's tuition, the lavish gifts my mother insisted upon during the holidays, and the enticing vacations they beckoned me to join, only to find myself shouldering the entire cost. A torrent of deep disappointment crashed over me, searing and heavy, choking my voice. I had invested my heart and soul into this family, only to realize that to them, I was merely a source of money. With a decisive click, I severed the chains of recurring payments. The screen flickered ominously, sealing the fate of the cancellation. I gazed at the words, successfully cancelled, and an unexpected wave of relief surged through me. In that moment, I shattered the unseen bonds that had held me captive for far too long. Yet deep down, I understood. They would fight tooth and nail to hold on. The first call arrived with the dawn of a new day. I let my mother's call go unanswered. The second call echoed through the silence, a haunting reminder of what was at stake. The final chapter. The fourth chapter unfolds. She persevered against all odds. By the fifth, I muted my phone, allowing it to surrender to voicemail. With determination, I brewed a cup of coffee, settled at the kitchen table, and dove into my messages, ready to face whatever awaited me. Mom, Elena, how could you? Do you even realize the weight of the burden this house is carrying? Mother, consider the impact of your actions on others. Family is meant to uplift and support one another. Mom, please, I need to hear from you. With a determined resolve, I placed my cup aside, shut my eyes, and inhaled deeply, embracing the moment. I sensed she must have uncovered the truth by now. Moments later, my phone vibrated with urgency once more. This time it was my father, the weight of his presence echoing through the silence, a moment that would forever alter the course of my life. My gaze locked onto the screen and a wave of despair washed over me. In another time, my response would have been swift and certain. But now everything has changed. I sensed his call held no intention of standing by my side. I allowed it to slip into the silence of voicemail. After some time, I pressed play on the message. Father. Elena stood at the edge of the world, her heart pounding with the weight of untold stories. Each breath she took was a testament to her strength, a silent vow to rise above the shadows that sought to define her. In that moment, she was not just a name. She was a force, ready to embrace her destiny and carve her path through the chaos of life. It's time to reflect and make a powerful choice. Your mother is deeply troubled. Severing connections over a mere misunderstanding is a choice that can lead to profound regret. We are bound by an unbreakable bond. I released a laugh that echoed with emptiness. What does family truly mean? What if I truly belonged to this family? Why had they always turned away when I needed them most? As the afternoon sun dipped low, Camila's voice broke through the silence, igniting a spark of anticipation. I stood my ground. In an instant, her messages flooded in. Camila stood at the edge of the world, her heart pounding with the weight of untold stories. Each breath she took was a testament to her strength, a silent vow to rise above the shadows that sought to define her. In that moment, she was not just a name, she was a force ready to carve her own destiny. Utterly disappointing, Elena. Your pettiness and selfishness are truly remarkable. Camila, do you truly believe you stand above us? Your silence spoke volumes, masking your true intentions while you played the part of the hero. If only you had been honest from the beginning, we could have avoided this charade. Camila stood at the edge of the world, her heart pounding with the weight of untold stories. Each breath she took was a testament to her strength, a reminder that she was destined for greatness. In that moment, she knew she would rise unyielding and fierce, ready to embrace her journey. You've caused a rift in the family, well done. I erupted in laughter. A harsh, cutting laugh that echoed with despair. Did they truly think I was the one at fault? In that moment, Liam's voice pierced through the silence. This time I found my voice. What about me? Liam, what on earth are you thinking? I am reclaiming what is rightfully mine. Liam. Elena, how could you turn your back on mom and dad? Their love and sacrifices meant everything. Yet you severed ties over a mere inheritance. This greed has consumed you, revealing a heart that once knew compassion. This isn't about money, Liam. It's about respect, something I never received from any of you. Liam, you are a toxic behavior, believing you can slither away from this family unscathed. Just wait and see what unfolds. He ended the call, leaving me with unspoken words hanging in the air. A chilling wave coursed through me. They would not be deterred. I gazed at my phone, then my contact list, feeling the weight of choices before me. Every name, Mom, Dad, Camila, Liam, radiated with a vibrant light on the screen. The very souls who had leaned on me through every storm now cast me aside the instant I could no longer bear their burdens. None of them harbored a trace of regret. None of them dared to speak. I deeply regret what has happened. What they wielded were merely weapons of anger, threats that cut deep, and insults that stung like daggers. With a fierce determination, I clutched my phone and with a deep breath, decisively pressed the block number button. One by one, their names slipped away, vanishing from my contact list like whispers in the wind. After years of turmoil, a wave of tranquility washed over me for the first time. In that moment, I felt a surge of liberation. I understood they would attempt to return, yet for this night, I could finally rest, free from the suffocating burden of their relentless demands and harsh accusations. I placed my phone aside, savored a sip of wine, and in that moment, a smile broke free for the first time in years. I was liberated. 3 weeks unfolded in a perilous hush. With their numbers silenced, I finally embraced a fleeting moment of tranquility. Enough with the guilt-laden calls. Let go of the weight of blame-filled messages. Enough of the unyielding expectations. I poured myself into my work, crafted new routines, and for the first time in years, I felt the liberating release from the heavy chains of obligation. Yet I knew deep down that this was far from the end, and I knew it all along. As I sat in the conference room on that fateful Friday afternoon, anticipation coursed through me, only to be shattered by the violent buzz of my phone. A powerful message from my mother. Mom, it's crucial that you come. The family is gathering for an important meeting at the old house, 7 p.m. Your presence is needed. This is not merely an invitation. It is a call to action, a weight upon your shoulders, a gathering of hearts and voices. I shut my eyes, a storm of irritation igniting within me. This was no act of kindness. It was a calculated trap. I had the choice to turn a blind eye. I was ready to embrace my new life, leaving the past behind. Yet a reckless fragment of my soul. A fragment that clung desperately to the hope of miracles. Curiosity ignited. I yearned to witness their next move. I responded with just one word. Very well. As I pulled up, I was met with the sight of Liam's sleek BMW and Camila's eye-catching pink Mini Cooper, both perfectly positioned in the driveway, a testament to their vibrant personalities. As I crossed the threshold to the porch, my mother swung the door open with alarming speed, her smile a mere mask, concealing the turmoil beneath. Elena, at last you have chosen to return home. As I crossed the threshold, a surge of anticipation coursed through me. The house that once embraced me now loomed like a prison, its walls closing in with every breath. My father occupied the heart of the living room, his expression heavy with gravity. Liam and Camila reclined on the couch, their eyes sparkling with a fierce sense of victory. A deep unease settled in the air, a palpable tension that whispered of something amiss. With deliberate grace, I drew out a chair, settled into it, crossed my legs and wrapped my arms around myself, a silent declaration of strength and resolve. With a steely gaze I demanded, "What is this truly about?" My father cleared his throat, his gaze piercing through the silence. "We must confront this tension and find resolution." I released a harsh laugh, tension hanging in the air. "Are you really suggesting that I cease to support all of you?" My mother breathed out, striving to maintain a soft tone. "Elena, your reaction was intense. Your father and I fought fiercely for your happiness, driven by our unwavering love and hopes for your future." Liam let out a derisive laugh, a sound filled with disdain. "Did you truly consider the weight of your decision before severing our connection like that? Can you not recognize the immaturity and self-centeredness in that action?" I tightened my jaw, a storm brewing within me. Immature? Self-centered? My voice trembled with the weight of a decade's struggle. Yet I have been the unwavering force holding this family together. It is you all who embody selfishness. Camila crossed her arms, her voice a whisper, yet it dripped with venom. You're embracing a role that diminishes your strength. Let's face the truth. Your anger stems from the absence of an inheritance from mom and dad, doesn't it? A fierce fire ignited within me. I rose with purpose, my eyes piercing through the crowd, connecting with each soul before me. I arrived here hoping you had finally come to understand the gravity of your mistakes. I released a piercing laugh, echoing with intensity. But alas, it was not meant to be. You remain the same parasitic beings, consumed by their own desires, blind to the gifts bestowed upon them. My mother sprang from her seat, her voice cutting through the air like a razor. Step through that door, and know that returning will not be met with open arms. I paused at the threshold, my fingers clutching the doorknob tightly. I turned my head, our gazes colliding, my voice sharp and unyielding. From the very beginning, a sense of unwelcomeness enveloped me. With a deep breath, I pushed the door open and stepped into the unknown, leaving everything behind without a single glance back. I sped home, my heart racing fiercely within my chest. Uncertainty loomed over me, yet deep down, I felt the weight of their relentless pursuit. They would not rest until they had their answer. As I stepped into my apartment, a wave of stillness washed over me, and I found myself paralyzed in that very moment. My door stood resolutely closed. A dense layer of grayish-white expanding foam enveloped the doorframe, cascading over the edges, solidifying like unyielding cement. My sanctuary had been ruthlessly attacked, a deep disappointment that cut deep. The answer was clear without uttering a single word. My fingers clenched around my phone, rage surging through me like a wildfire. With my heart pounding, I launched the security camera app and began to rewind the footage, anticipation coursing through me. There he stood, a figure of resilience and strength. He stood there, clad in a gray hoodie and a baseball cap, a smug grin plastered across his face as he unleashed a torrent of expanding foam onto my door. My hands tightened into resolute fists. Did they truly believe they could instill fear in me? Did they truly believe I would return on my knees pleading for their mercy? No. I refused to let them escape unscathed. I faced the sealed door, my breath thick with fury. I had grown numb to their antics. Nothing they did could catch me off guard any longer. Yet a fire of fury burned within me, not due to their childish antics, but because of their overwhelming arrogance. The audacity of believing they could act without repercussions is nothing short of astonishing. I reopened the security app, my heart racing as I fast-forwarded through the footage, searching for the moment that could change everything. As I had anticipated, Liam emerged on the screen, a figure of intrigue and intensity, clad in a gray hoodie, his cap drawn low to obscure his features, yet I could not mistake the unmistakable slouch of his stride. I felt a surge of defiance as I locked eyes with the smug smirk, the nozzle aimed at my door, unleashing a torrent of foam that invaded every crevice. Each gesture cut deeper than the last. He believed I would remain silent, that I wouldn't rise to the challenge. He was mistaken. With a steady resolve, I saved the video, captured sharp screenshots of his face, and swiftly dialed the police. Half an hour later, a young police officer appeared at my apartment door. His expression held a powerful blend of compassion and unwavering professionalism. I revealed the footage, my voice steady as I laid out the situation with precision. "Do you wish to file a formal complaint?" he inquired, his voice steady yet tinged with uncertainty, as if silently pleading for me to overlook it. A chilling laugh escaped my lips. I stand at the edge of a precipice, heart racing, the weight of my past pressing down on me. Each breath is a battle, yet within me stirs a fierce determination. I will not be defined by my struggles. I will rise stronger than ever, ready to embrace the unknown. This is my moment, my story, and I will seize it with both hands. I didn't summon you here for mere pleasantries. With a resolute nod, he opened his notebook, ready to document the unfolding story with purpose. "Liam, is that your brother?" I locked eyes with him, my voice a chilling whisper. "Never again." As dawn broke, my father's voice pierced the silence, a call that would change everything. "Father." "Elena, my dear, must we truly let it escalate to this point?" Myself. "Are you reaching out to persuade me to let go of the charges?" "Father." "Something deeper." "It's simply." Liam was consumed by a storm of emotions. His intentions were never to cause pain. Myself. She scoffs, a sound laced with defiance and strength. "He sealed my door shut, Dad. What if I had an important meeting this morning? This could change everything. What if a cat, or a child, resided within me?" "Father." In the stillness, a world of unspoken words unfolds. Myself. He believed he could instill fear in me. He will soon realize the mistake he made in choosing me. "Father. Are you truly prepared to take this to the edge?" Myself. "It's not who I am." Liam took this bold step. He brought this upon himself. Reckless choices demand their price. "Father. What is it that compels you to let go of the charges?" "Me? $33,000. "Father. What is happening?" Myself. "This amount will ensure my door is repaired, cover legal fees should this situation extend, and address the damages caused by harassment. That figure stands strong and justifies itself with undeniable clarity." "Father. This is a desperate act of coercion." My journey let out a chilling laugh. "No, Dad, this is the reality of our choices." "Father. Liam is far from possessing that kind of wealth." Myself. "In that moment, you and your mother can rise together to support him, united in purpose and strength. For a lifetime you've stood in his shadow, and now once again, you find yourself bearing the weight of his choices." "Father." Claudine tightened her hold on the Elena, determination coursing through her veins. "This family is being ripped apart by your actions." Myself. "Once this family was whole, but the threads that bound them unraveled, leaving only echoes of what once was." 3 days later, a surge of hope washed over me as my account reflected a miraculous $33,000, a lifeline sent from my parents' joint account. Silence from my mother, and not a word of discontent from Liam. Even Camila, who thrived on the thrill of cruelty, found herself enveloped in an unexpected silence. They believed that a simple transfer could silence me forever. Yet what they failed to grasp was this profound truth. No longer did I require their presence. I stood before my apartment door, newly restored, my fingers gliding over its flawless surface, a testament to resilience and renewal. It wasn't the $33,000 that truly mattered. For the first time, they stood at the crossroads of their choices, compelled to confront the weight of their actions. They might despise me, label me a traitor. For the first time ever, I stood my ground, unyielding to their demands. I raised my glass, a sly smile playing on my lips as I savored the rich taste of the wine. They believed they could shatter my spirit. In the end, it was they who faced defeat. I believed that once I sent the $33,000, they would finally release their grip on my life. Yet, I had placed my trust in them far too generously. Experiencing financial loss was merely the beginning of a much deeper struggle. Are you losing your grip? That was beyond their capacity to endure. When their familiar tactics lost their grip on me, they resorted to underhanded schemes. It began with a torrent of insincere messages from distant relatives, their faces fading in the shadows of my memory. Aunt Susan, Elena, my heart aches with disappointment in you both. Your parents poured their very souls into your upbringing. And this is the gratitude you show them? Uncle Mark, Elena, remember, never allow wealth to strip away your essence. Never forget, family endures through all. Cousin Rachel, how could you be so cold as to turn your back on your parents in their time of need? As the walls close in around them, the weight of impending loss hangs heavy in the air. Can you not feel the ache of their despair? With every message I read, a whirlwind of amusement clashed with waves of disgust, igniting a storm within me. The truth struck me like lightning. I recognized the hand that orchestrated this chaos. Mom, when she realized logic wouldn't prevail, she turned to the weapon of social judgment, hoping to strike fear into my heart. She had woven a powerful tale of transformation. In a moment of deep disappointment, I became the dismissive daughter, leaving my aging parents to face their twilight years alone. In a moment of ruthless clarity, I severed all financial ties, pushing them to the edge of despair, teetering on the brink of losing everything they held dear. A heart-wrenching tale of resilience. Yet there remains a singular challenge. It was a lie, a shadow that loomed over the truth. For more than 10 years, I bore the weight of their financial struggles. I had taken on their mortgage, managed their bills, and supported Liam and Camila, never seeking anything in return. They were never truly left behind. I was a pawn in their game, and I had reached my breaking point. With a surge of anticipation, I flipped open my laptop and entered the realm of Facebook. Today I felt a surge within me, compelling me to break my silence and share my voice. I had finally realized their love was no longer my anchor. I yearned for the moment when they could no longer manipulate reality to suit their desires. My fingers danced across the keyboard, each word striking the screen with precision, bold and unyielding, banishing any trace of falsehood. I fought to be the perfect daughter, yet their love always felt just out of reach. For more than a decade, I poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into my family's well-being, shouldering the weight of their mortgage, bills, and my siblings' education. I held my silence, convinced that family was meant to uplift one another. When my parents penned their will, they bequeathed everything to Liam and Camila. I confronted them, seeking understanding, and their response cut deep. You have a career. You don't need it. In my moment of defiance, they labeled me as selfish. When I withdrew my support, they branded me a traitor. And now they weave a tale of deep disappointment, claiming I have forsaken them, that their home hangs by a thread, that I am devoid of compassion. Child. The undeniable truth awaits. They are not losing their home. They are merely parting ways with the financial support I have offered for years. This isn't about seeking sympathy. It's a message for anyone who has faced taking advantage by their own family to find strength in their truth. Break free from the chains of your pain. Establishing boundaries is a powerful act of self-respect. Rejecting taking advantage is a courageous stand against deep disappointment. Sometimes family transcends bloodlines. It is forged in the fires of respect and genuine appreciation. I have turned my back on their lives, and I stand unwavering with no regrets haunting my soul. With a deep breath, I press the button to share my truth with the world. In just 1 hour, the post ignited a wildfire of engagement, racking up hundreds of shares and thousands of passionate comments. Amidst the chaos, a few stood strong, offering unwavering support. I have walked that path before. Hold on to your strength. You are not beholden to anyone. Your efforts have surpassed all expectations. Your bravery in voicing your truth is truly inspiring. Criticism echoed around me. Though family may bear imperfections, their bond remains unbreakable. Keep your struggles close to your heart, Don't expose them for all to see. She craves the spotlight, yearning for recognition in a world that often overlooks her. It is a profound, deep disappointment to unveil the vulnerabilities of your own parents in such a manner. I was unbothered. I anticipated this moment. 3 hours after I unveiled the truth, my mother reached out. Mother. Elena, what on earth are you doing? Me boldly revealing the truth. Mother. This family's honor is being shattered before our eyes. Myself. Absolutely not, Mom. The moment you chose to cast me as the villain in your tale, everything changed. Mother. This decision will haunt you. Myself. No. You will be the one left with regret. I hung up, a surge of freedom coursing through me. The truth could no longer be concealed. In that moment, I reclaimed my voice, a powerful surge of strength coursing through me. 3 months after unveiling the truth, an exhilarating sense of freedom surged through me like never before. Break free from the chains of guilt, leaving behind the weight of burdensome calls. I had broken free from their grasp, no longer a pawn in their game. I had finally embraced my own existence. Initially, the void felt unfamiliar. The heart-wrenching experience of losing a family. Regardless of the toxicity. Silent. A peculiar emptiness lingered. In that moment of clarity, everything changed. It was a transformation. It was liberation, a moment that ignited the soul. I plunged headfirst into my career, shedding the turmoil of my past like a heavy cloak. My income was solely my own, untethered and free from anyone's grasp. Absolutely. With a heart full of anticipation, I took the bold step to enroll in a photography class. A moment I had always shied away from, now finally embraced. I embarked on a journey, finally venturing to the destinations I had long neglected, all because I had been consumed by the duty of supporting my family. 3 months later, I found myself in Paris, the aroma of coffee swirling around me as I sat by the Seine, lost in the moment. 6 months later, I found myself standing atop Machu Picchu, the fierce wind whipping around me as I embraced the power of the ancient ruins. In that moment, I felt the weight of freedom like never before. For the first time, I was solely accountable for my own journey. It held a value beyond any legacy one could receive. Though I turned my back on them, the echoes of my past family reached me still, carried by familiar voices and hushed conversations in the shadows of the community. My mother stepped into the world of a small diner, donning the role of a waitress, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. A former co-worker caught sight of her and remarked that she no longer possessed the commanding presence of the woman who once held authority over me. She had turned away from the allure of spas and the temptation of designer clothes. My father, the silent witness to every injustice I faced, now toiled as a laborer in a construction supply store. He stood alone, stripped of support, facing the weight of his bills with no one to turn to. Liam found himself without a job. He had laughed as I turned my back, but now the echoes of his arrogance faded, leaving him alone to face the ruins of his failed ambitions. Camila remained ensnared in her illusion, fervently striving to ascend as a social media sensation. Yet, the tides had turned, and her once lavish getaways were now a distant memory, unfinanced and forgotten. Her designer outfits, once a symbol of aspiration, now hung in silence, waiting for a moment that never came. My whole family was fighting against the odds. Yet, guilt was a stranger to me. I had offered them a glimmer of hope. They shattered it all, consumed by their insatiable greed. A year later, fate brought me face to face with Alex. Love had never been on my radar. He entered my life like a gentle whisper, asking for nothing, anticipating nothing. He stood apart from everyone I had ever encountered. He was not the type to view me merely as a source of benefit. He truly saw me. In that moment, I was fully seen. Our paths crossed on a fateful hiking trip, surrounded by friends who unknowingly set the stage for a remarkable connection. Initially, I believed he was merely another fleeting figure in the crowd, just another stranger passing by. Yet he remained there, a steadfast presence, asking for nothing but my true self. In that moment, a profound realization washed over me. I was enough, just as I was. Love was never something to be purchased. All I needed was to embrace my true self. As I stood on my apartment balcony, the chill of a December evening wrapped around me, I gazed down at the city lights, each one a flicker of hope in the vast darkness below. I was finally free from their grasp. I had finally broken free from the chains of taking advantage. I had outgrown my old family, leaving behind the shadows of the past. Once I believed that being excluded from the will was the ultimate humiliation, a deep, deep disappointment that pierced my soul. But now I understand. It was the most profound gift they had ever bestowed upon me. Elena's journey transcends mere family deep disappointment. It's the tale of a soul who once thought that giving everything would earn them the love and acknowledgement they craved. In a world where trust is often betrayed, countless souls discover the harsh reality of being exploited by those they hold dear, the very ones meant to uplift and cherish them. This story reveals that establishing boundaries is an act of strength, not selfishness. It is the essence of self-respect. In moments of heartache, letting go of a toxic family can reveal a profound strength within. It's not a loss, it's a powerful step toward liberation. This is your chance to break free, to embrace joy, and to connect with those who genuinely cherish your presence. What are your thoughts on Elena's journey? Have you ever faced a moment like this, or do you know someone who has? We invite you to express your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to follow the channel for more astonishing, poignant, and authentic tales about family and life.